Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. And we are here talking about the spice of life. And we have the spice coach. I see that she is on the stage. So I'm going to bring her on up and we're going to start this conversation. Remember, it is 12 o'clock here in Virginia, but it's 8 p.m. there in Kuwait. So that's why we're so early. We want to accommodate the spice coach so that she can give us this great information. And as with anything, just make sure whatever you do, whatever you change, whatever you decide that you want to use from the spice coach, make sure you check with your doctor. Make sure you check with your healthcare team and just make sure that it's something that can work for you. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring up the spice coach. All right, let's see how we do this. Here we go. Hello,
Hi.
how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you, Raquel?
I am so good. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us and
Finally, after
your great information. Your information is so awesome. And I'm so excited to be able to share it with others. How are you
Thank
today?
you. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am
It's
good.
8 p.m.
I'm
My day's winding down.
I know, right? My day is just starting.
Yes, yes.
I understand. I understand. So let's start by just finding out a little bit about you. Let us know, how long you've had lupus and let us know how'd you get to start the Spice Coach and start doing all of that.
Okay. So my name's Patty. I'm American living in Kuwait. A little bit over 22 years now. I got officially diagnosed in 2009. Official diagnosis when I went back to the States to check was 2010. Basically, I landed in the hospital with an enlarged heart, and I had the year before given birth to my fourth child, and I just didn't heal right from that pregnancy and delivery. Things were just not. Everything was off. Hormones were off. I was constantly sick. I was tired, joint pain, everything. I just didn't heal right. Um, Finally, and every time I went to a different doctor, most of us as lupus warriors, you know how it is. Oh, you've got the flu, you've got allergies, you've got a
Right.
sick tummy. Oh, you're, gestational diabetes, everything. But I
Everything.
ended up, yeah. So, I'm saying hi to everybody on Instagram too. Ended up in the hospital with an enlarged heart. And the doctor there was like, "Have you ever been tested for autoimmune?" Never heard of it in my life. The only
Mm,
closest thing is because I'm an 80s kid, the closest thing I ever heard about immunity and autoimmune was HIV.
right.
So I was like, okay, what's that? So he just, started giving me a bunch of questions, ordered, blood work, and that's where the journey started. And then when I got diagnosed, it wasn't my home country or anything. I was like, oh no, I got to get a second opinion. And I flew all the way to America. I was in the middle of
Wow.
working on my master's, and I
Wow.
went and got a second opinion, and it was confirmed. But the most important point of that journey there, the doctor, I won't say the medical center, but he said, "How's your life in Kuwait?" So
Mm,
I went there with it was on recommendation because my half sister, who I had never known my whole life, I had only just met her a couple of years before, also has lupus.
wow. Okay.
And yeah, and she's older than me like 15 years because she's from my father's first marriage. So that was nice to have that family history, that
Right.
information, and I didn't have. And the doctor said, "How's your life in Kuwait?" And so he basically, to put it in a nutshell, was like, I explained to him our lifestyle here, and he's like, the fact that you have that lifestyle, because here and back then 10 years ago, pretty much like siesta time when you go to European countries, we have the same in the Middle East. So you get that break, and then if you have a job that requires you to go back to your second shift at night, you decompress, you stop. Also being faith-based, we take time out 5 times a day, decompress,
Right.
relax. Also the same idea with kosher meat. We have the same thing. Ours is called halal. And the fact that it's a slower paced country. There's not as much processed food, at least back then, 12 years ago.
Right.
And he said all those things have your blood work shows me one thing. He goes, but you're standing up much more better.
Right.
And he said to keep it up. And that's when a light bulb went in my head. and I showed him the list of medicines that Kuwait gave me. He knocked off about 6 of them.
Wow.
And then I came back to Kuwait. And I think the catapult for me was I was taking all the medicines, right? Doing my routine, the cortisone stuff, and now steroids made me gain a lot of weight. Even after 4 kids, I was, still keeping my shape.
Right.
Um, and then all of a sudden, I was 94 kilos, which was not fun. And I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm on the laptop. And then that's it. Then I had tummy problems, went to, the tummy doctor, gave me more medicine. I had an ulcer. So that
Mm,
was, a byproduct of all the medicines. My body, the kidney and the liver and trying to clean it out and all that chemicals. I had a big plastic box, the ones from IKEA,
mm,
full of medicine. And I sat right there at this table in this kitchen. And I was like, F it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not taking all these pills. But like you said in the beginning, I went to my doctor and I was like, there's got to be a way. And he's like, I prescribe to you based on the symptoms that you're showing me.
right. Right.
So, you've got pain. I'm going to give you medicine for pain. This is down for kidney function, or this is up for white blood, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, he said, the goal for you, my rheumatologist said, was to keep it inactive, to keep your flare-ups down.
Right.
That's the most important thing. And, the stress and the sleep and all that jazz. So that's when I started researching into holistic approaches, not to replace my medicine from my doctor and my advice from doctor, but kind of combine it, a functional type
Right.
relationship. And
The
at
whole
that
the
time,
whole person.
yes, the whole person. And, so I was changing my sleep, changing my diet. And at that time, Kuwait was going through a food movement. And that was it. It was like I started doing these products. I had a brick and mortar business, and I made products to go with that food movement to heal better, and I started combining things. And my number one love was spices. And then I started looking into Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, the Middle East, prophetic medicine for us Muslims here. And I just found like a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And so
Right.
I put stuff together. So I like put turmeric with black seed mixed with honey, and that was it. And that was my base for since 2013 until now. That's one part of my business. And I love it. Quarantine, pandemic happened, and then it was like I missed the markets. My
Mhm.
business was booming. Unfortunately, a lot of my colleagues, they lost their businesses or the business went down. Mine was booming because everybody was at home cooking.
Right.
So I was, getting the orders in, thank God, thankfully. But there was something missing inside of me. And then I realized that what I missed was I was a teacher for young children and, with special needs, autistic children, kids with Down syndrome, which also we had a routine for them for their diet. I missed the teaching aspect. So I wanted to move from product based to knowledge based. And instead of me selling you a jar of honey, I want to start teaching people how to do it for themselves, because I think we're in a new era now where people are more mindful about their consumerism. And that's it. I want to teach everybody that spices are your friends.
Right.
They're your
Right.
friends.
I mean,
And a
you
holistic approach.
right. You totally change your mindset. You just like switch. You just something
The
switched inside
quarantine,
you. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's just a new phase of continuing that continuum of how I started. It's all still part of my healing process and still keeping me in check with my lupus. Um, I'm almost medicine free. I actually went yesterday at the cardiologist and he lowered my dosage, the strength of it by half. And
Awesome. Wow.
yeah, yeah. And
Awesome.
I'm not on cholesterol. I'm not on steroids. There's a lot of, stuff I'm not on. And it's because of my conscious, my mindful, um, what I take in, my nutrients. And I've learned a lot, and I've worked and enrolled in programs for healing programs with some great doctors. I'm glad to share that information if it's allowed or later on in a
Absolutely.
PDF. But what I noticed was missing, and this is where I come in. This is me. Okay. What was missing is all those recipes and all those talks. There would be tidbits about spices and herbs, but it was focused on the greens, focused on the fruits, on raw foods. Very few people will talk about spices and herbs unless it's like the fashion going on right now. Like it's the
Right.
star of the show, what turmeric was for a couple of years, and then it became, black seeds, and then became ginger. And that's where I think my role and my purpose for me to hear and serve my community of warriors is, overall encompassing the abundance that we have on this earth from our creator, and let people know that they're all good, they're all fun. It's not about the, what's the popular stuff
Right.
at the time, and just how to incorporate it simply, easily, and make sure that you're getting what you need for your body to lessen the symptoms of your flare-ups, your joint pain, your migraines, your dehydration, chronic dehydration, the different phases that you have. And then you can adjust. You can adjust in your diet.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
it.
It's interesting what you stated, where you said you just kind of just took the bull by the reins and just kind of went all in, and went from being a consume, someone that wants to just sell it,
Yeah.
to someone who wants to teach someone else how to do it.
For
And I think,
themselves.
yeah, because I think it's important for us to, be able to provide this service to other people. But it's so much more important to be able to teach them how to
Yes.
do it for themselves.
Especially when it comes to lupus, because, the majority of the lupus patients are women,
Right.
and and women of color, right?
Right.
Women of different backgrounds. And I think that's really important because, unfortunately, as we know statistically, without getting in politics or anything, in every country, these are the people that kind of, get the back burner on medicine and treatments and what's available for them to heal, or
Absolutely.
knowledge.
Absolutely. That medical
And
inequity is serious.
yes, and for me, that's important. The whole factor of, a woman taking charge of her health and doing what she can so that she can be there for herself first and her family, wherever they may be, and then her community.
Right. 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 So talk to me about changing a mindset. You know, how do you train people to change their mindset about how they're eating, how mindfully they're doing it, and what they're putting in their body that creates, we know food creates flares. You know,
Right, right.
we know what we do daily creates issues for us daily. So
Yes.
how do you teach people to change their mindset?
Well, I think the first most important thing is if you want to include spices and herbs in your life. I think this whole rhetoric of going back and forth and turmeric does X, Y, and Z, therefore you should consume it, and then there's nothing to go with it, is to understand we've got all kinds of people in this life that are, concerned about, um, being minimalist or being vegan or cruelty free and all this kind of stuff. Spices and herbs are actually sustainable. There's one of the few things, and there's actually whole programs around the world, international bodies that will tell you, is this a sustainable product that you can have as a consumer? And it's something that you can have at home and do it yourself. And also that relaxation that comes with, I'm growing something and then using it. There's a lot of cool vibes that come with that. And that's when you evolve your consciousness or your mindset to intentionally know what you're putting in your body. You start to realize, I'm healing myself. That intent is there. And I think all major cultures have that. When you've got to manifest it, you've got to say, I want to heal. I'm going to have the smoothie today because it's going to do X, Y, and Z. And that's the beginning of a mindset for me. And it doesn't matter what treatment you're doing, doesn't matter what diet, if you're keto, if you're vegetarian, if you're paleo, if you're doing AIP, the autoimmune protocol, if you're raw, plant-based, vegan, doesn't matter. Spices and herbs only make it more better.
Right.
It just,
Right.
the nutrients wise, flavor wise, color wise, everything, it just makes it more appealing, and you're getting your micro and macro nutrients in there,
Right.
and all together. So it doesn't matter what diet you guys are doing. Talk to me. I will tell you how you can put it in your life. But that's the mindset. The mindset is that it only enhances your life. Once you
Right.
accept that, how important. So you know that saying when they say your weight is your weight is the worth is your weight of gold, or no,
Yeah.
your weight of gold is your worth, or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's actually coming from spices because spices used to be way back when, from ancient civilization now to modern society, was currency. It was used as currency. So the
Interesting.
way, yeah. So like, does anybody know what's the most expensive spice right now?
Anybody on Instagram? Anybody on Facebook
Facebook.
know?
I'm just having fun. Just having fun. I don't want it to be just, info.
Right.
Anybody know?
Nobody knows on my Instagram.
And I think this one has frozen.
Uh-oh. Someone said saffron.
Very good.
Oh,
Excellent.
okay. Pam, my mother's
Excellent.
spark.
Yeah, there you go, KM Mother Spark. That's right. Saffron for 1 kg or 2.2 pounds is can be $3,000 to $4,000, or like for my guys here, 1,000 KD, Kuwaiti dinars, for good
Wow, really?
quality. There's
Really?
yes. It is the
That's
most expensive
crazy.
spice in the world, and we use it here like salt.
Really?
Yeah, it's part of the cuisine, and it's like it's status. It's status.
Wow.
Good quality saffron is status. So and that, and that's how, before there was Bitcoin, there was, spice coin, and that's how important spices have been to civilization from back then until now.
Right. Right. So it's interesting that you said that you use saffron like salt.
Yeah, I love it.
How would how would you tell someone in America to where would they go to get something like that?
Well, I was going to save that to the end. The things that I will show you today, and
Okay.
I have live props for some people because I realized that it might be available. I checked everything on Amazon.
Okay.
Everything is
Wow.
Amazon. Yeah, everything that I'm showing you, because there's some cultural things and things that aren't really available, and they're from good companies. When you look for the organic, the
Right.
cruelty free, and all that jazz, however you advocate your consumerism, everything's available in Amazon.
Awesome. Awesome.
So it
Okay, so
comes
you
to
have some themes that you want to go through with us, right?
yes,
So let's go
I
ahead and do
do.
that.
Everybody's going to need pen and paper because I'm giving you a
Okay.
lot of info, but a lot of important info.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody's going to need pen and paper.
So everybody
Okay.
on Instagram, everybody on Facebook, everybody on
Yeah.
YouTube, get you some pens and papers.
Okay. Um, so basically, the first importance for the importance. So we've talked about the mindset, and
I'm
hi, Mother Spark. I'm one of Brian's extended family. It's good to see you. Thank you. Welcome. And okay, so now the importance. I told you it works with any diet, right? It works with
right.
anything. Doesn't matter if you're doing keto, you're vegan, you're vegetarian,
Right.
whatever you are, flexitarian. Um, however if you're on a lot of meds, you're not on meds, there's not too much side effects because everything is moderation. Moderation is the key. As everything else they tell us, moderation is the key. So I'm not an advocate, and I do not promote using spice supplements. I mean, it's
Mm,
all out there. You'll see it. You'll see now we've seen it, the turmeric pills, the garlic pills, and then,
right.
and then turmeric with black pepper and all that stuff. I'm not a fan of that
Right.
unless you've actually done the blood work and a doctor has told you you are missing
Gotcha.
something essential and you need to take a supplement for this.
Gotcha.
But I'm all about, in a holistic way, adding it every day to your life. So I think the first thing that I want is to show everybody is that there's so many studies, they're all out there. I like to be the bridge for the people because it's a lot of information. You can get all crazy. It's science based. The
Mm,
stuff, it's science based. The research is there, and especially what I call my staples that I will talk to you about. I've done a lot of research on that from universities, published peer reviews, everything. So is your RDA, your recommended daily allowance.
okay.
That it's unbelievable how much using spices and herbs can bump up a meal and get you your calcium, get you your potassium, get you your copper, and these kinds of things. Your trace minerals, your micro and your phytochemicals that you need. You can get a lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of it, and that's why it's so nice. So, like, let's say you've joined some program, they've got this really cool meal plan going on for you. Just by adding a teaspoon of parsley as a garnish on top of your mashed potatoes makes a whole difference in the world. So one measurement that I want y'all guys to write down is that, so if you've got 1 teaspoon of a dried herb,
Right.
okay, about 5 grams, that equals a tablespoon of a fresh herb. Because not all the time you're going to have the fresh there, and don't let that deter you from not using. And there are some spices that, because there's not the water soluble, there's the essential oils are there, they're actually more potent when they're dry.
Okay.
Yes. So there's a lot of chemistry involved in that. That's like in deep stuff. I'm just scraping the surface with you guys today, just to bring you into my world of spices. Another thing that I think is really important, a lot of us go in our journey, is the alkaline diet and the alkaline effect, the pH. My body's acidic, and spices, like, wow, they really can change the pH value and add, and that's why in Ayurveda medicine and Chinese medicine they've been using it. So just like a real fun little thing like coffee, people are always asking what's the most healthiest coffee, and you'll see a lot of research will say the Arabic coffee, which is like a blonde type coffee, it's a light coffee, is the most healthiest. And the only reason it is because it's ground with cardamom and cloves.
Gotcha.
It's not the coffee necessarily by itself.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they change in their pH value, and so cardamom is its pH value is 8, so it's more on the alkaline, because we're right in the middle as humans. We're in 7.5. Anything under 7, you've got acid going on. So that's what makes it important. When you start adding these little tidbits, it's a pinch. It honestly makes a difference and can change the chemistry where it's more beneficial to your body. And I think that once you have that in your mind, that mindset that I can reach my RDA and I can help with my pH levels, and that those two things are definitely a part of your journey, you start to change your mindset and start to think like, what can I do? Even if you sidetrack and you're like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy fast food, or I'm going to enjoy this bag of chips. You can just jazz it up and, add parsley snips on it, or, some black seeds and some Himalayan salt. And that's my goal. It's like whatever you're doing.
Right. And it sounds like you're saying all it takes is just a little bit.
That's it.
To start
throughout the day, consistency.
Right. Exactly.
Your breakfast, your snacks, your lunch, your dinners. And then I have a method. If just real quick, so you guys can write it down. Just want to be the bridge. And of course, there will be a PDF. I'll send you guys to a link later. I will give it to Raquel, and you guys will find it in my link tree on Instagram. It'll have a lot of this stuff already there. But alkaline spices are cinnamon, cardamom, curry, not the powder blend, but the curry from the curry leaves, the ground curry leaves, ginger, chili pepper, which is funny because like cayenne pepper is known to be aesthetic and it's a hot spice and everything. But once you digest it and it hits our gut, it becomes alkaline. And that's why it's used a lot for Ayurveda purposes, because the way that we've been created by the universe, God, whatever you guys call it, our bodies sync. That synergy happens with the way that herb and spice was created and how it works on our body. And
so you said alkaline spices are cinnamon. What was the second one?
Cardamom.
How do you spell that? I'm going to put it in the chat.
CARDAMOM.
Curry.
Curry. Ginger. And black pepper and nutmeg.
Black pepper and nutmeg. That's so interesting.
And all herbs, pretty much all herbs, sage, mint, parsley, all that jazz. Those are alkaline. Okay.
Explain to everyone what the alkaline spices can do.
It calms your body down. So, like, let's say we're having symptoms. So, like, let's say the majority of the symptoms for lupus people are joint pains, um, having chronic pain everywhere in your body, not having energy. So let's say ginger combined with a nice curry. It doesn't have to be, but infuse it, which I will go through my whole system, how you can infuse it. It gives you energy. You feel refreshed, which a lot of
Mm,
us, we suffer from chronic fatigue. It also, the most important thing for all spices, most of them are anti-inflammatory, antibacterial and antiviral. So a lot of times this will help with our immunity. And it's kind of, what happens when our body flares up is the signals are getting whacked, right?
right.
Signals are not there. And it's like, keep, sending the soldiers over there and attacks our own body, right? Once your spices and you're eating healthy combined with other things, not just spices, and like, don't run out there and intake 100 kilos of turmeric. No, but those things start to help you heal. Those synergy, the synergistic effect that happens, and it starts to heal your body and your metabolism. So we have problems with our metabolism, up and down. So I mean, any symptom, your headaches, for women, their monthly issues, so many things. Cinnamon's really great for women health, and because they have phytonutrients. So our nutrition, short nutrition, phytonutrients and phytochemicals are the things that are created in nature, by whatever name you want to call it, that that fight off the fungus, the fight off bugs and sickness and
Mhm.
stuff. And then who's ingesting that, right? It's not just there to
Right.
be pretty. We've got our animals grazing and digesting it, and in turn we eat. If people are on a diet where they consume chicken and beef and all that stuff, that's why it's so important to know, are they free range chickens, are they being fed properly, mutton, sheep and stuff. And then we in our salads and our smoothies and whatever, and also for medicinal purposes. So it pretty much anything. All pharmacies started off, if it was Greek civilization, Arab civilization, Babylonian, anything, ancient hieroglyphs, there's always reference to spices and herbs being ground and used in some type of tonic. They have found honey infused with all kinds of stuff
Mm,
in little, clay jars in Egypt, and that's like, thousands and thousands of years. But those micronutrients, those phytochemicals, for an example, like curcumin and turmeric and
mhm.
pepperdine and black pepper, that would be an example of what's considered a phytochemical or a phytonutrient, and that falls under our micronutrients,
Gotcha.
which are like our trace minerals, our vitamins, all that stuff. And you need that. You need that. That's the process of how you grow, how the health of your muscles, how you metabolize, how you have your immunity, how it fights off, invaders in your body. For some people, it's important for blood clotting,
Mm,
and cardio issues. For some people, with lupus or other autoimmunes, for muscle degenerative diseases, it helps you to retain that muscle and keep it healthy.
right.
So you need those minerals and stuff. And yeah, that's the importance for that. So
Awesome.
eat like your grandparents did. That's my thing. It's giving away my age. I don't know if my grandkids will be able to say that, but eat as your grandparents did. No matter where you're from in the world, if you eat that simple life in
Mm,
moderation, you're better off. You'll be healthy.
right. Instead of eating in abundance, we eat to
Yes.
sustain as opposed
Yes.
to eating in
With
abundance.
intention, mindset, intention that this is going to heal me. This is going to help me on my journey, um, to get what I need to
Right.
continue my day.
Right. And that's important what you said. Eat with intention, eat with
Yeah.
mindfulness.
Yes.
You're not just eating just for it to taste good. And, you're not
Yes.
just
And
eating because,
if you
yeah.
do, I'm going to be honest right here. I was going to go live and doing this. This is all new for me. My family on Instagram knew. I went and got myself some fast food today. I'm not going to name it or anything. I did. I did. I wanted comfort food. I was just like, that's what's going to calm me down right now. and make me a happy camper. But what
Right.
did I do? I got some green onions on there, and I did my thing and made it gourmet fast food. So I, sprinkled a little bit of this and turmeric and black pepper. Okay, it's better than just coming out. But even if you have your moments, give yourself grace.
Oh, important. So important.
Lean in into what you want, because if you're on a diet that's constantly forbidding you, and this goes with anything in life, forbidden, 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 you're just
Yes.
going to implode or explode. That's what's going to happen to you. So give yourself grace and know, like, you know what? I like coffee, but maybe I'll add cardamom to make it more wholesome, and cinnamon and a dash of turmeric. And maybe I'll use nut milk instead of cow's milk. Or maybe I'll limit myself to one coffee a day
Right.
when I most need it.
Right.
If I want it, at home I'm reading a book and it's my afternoon time, or I need it at work right in the morning. Give yourself grace. Don't be so rigid on yourself. And
And
I
that's
think that's
that's
really important.
important. And yeah,
It
that's
is.
very important because I think a
It
lot of
is.
people
It is.
do get on these diets and start, talking about
Yo-yo.
I'm gonna do this, do this, do this, and never
Finish.
ever finish because
Yes.
they're so
It's a
busy,
yo-yo.
yeah,
It is.
removing
And it's
themselves
not
from it.
sustainable. It's not sustainable. The
Right.
whole concept of sustainability is very important. If you're too much into anything, it's not sustainable. It'll burn itself out. It'll
Someone
expire.
said
It's time.
someone said someone
So,
said on
just remember,
my
huh?
someone said on my Instagram, she said, "Gosh, I'm a guilty eater." But then she puts in the next sentence, "Give yourself some grace." She definitely needs to hear that. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Yes.
Because I
Yes.
think that
Absolutely.
we eat with the intention because of course we like it. But I always tell my husband
Yeah.
you have to change your relationship with food. Because I feel like
It's
people
psychology.
sometimes,
Yes.
yeah, some people have such a relationship with
Yes.
food. They do it
Yes.
as a guilty eater, maybe, or maybe as
And that's
as something.
okay. Just make sure you don't,
Right,
just like if you would a partner, don't have a toxic relationship. If you know that
right.
person's toxic for you, what do we do? You know that work's toxic for you, what do we do? If you know that food is toxic for you, what do you do?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Self-preservation. So just remember that that's the mindset, intention, and to know the background. It can help you with your RDA, it can help you with your antioxidants, all that stuff. Research has shown anti-cancer, helping with your immunity and all that stuff. There's no reason not to. It doesn't interfere with anybody's diet, any particular lifestyle. It's just there for us to use in abundance. Be mindful of your sources. That's what, of course, everything, how and where you're consuming it from is important. But what's important in spices, so, talk about kale and spinach and all that stuff. The stuff's great for you, amazing. But spices particularly have higher phytochemicals or nutrients than just your average greens.
Mm,
So if someone's like, oh, I'm going to eat me a salad with tomato and lettuce and cucumber, and that I've got my veggies in for the day. Oh, sprinkle some turmeric on your salad dressing, mix it with lemon juice, alkalinize it, throw some, or do like a type with chia seeds. There's so many things and ideas that I can give, which I have some towards a little bit towards the end. And then you've bumped the nutritional value, the
mm.
healing value, the concentration of the phytonutrients with some spices and herbs.
Wow, that is.
Little
I mean,
steps.
yeah, you're teaching me, and like you just said, little steps at
Little
a
steps.
time, and
Little steps.
it makes a big
It
difference.
does. It will, especially in the long term. Okay, so I have a system. It's called BIG, right?
Okay.
This is a system that when I work with people, um, and I'm pretty much, I tell people stick with it for 30 days and then let's discuss how you're feeling. I've got some other things that I will tell you also that are kind of like life-changing alterations that you can do to help with your symptoms with the lupus. So it's called
Okay.
BIG, BIG. Okay. B is for blend, and I will get into details. I is for infuse, and G is for garnish. 3 simple ways that daily, from morning until night, whatever you are intaking, that you find one or more ways to make sure that you've spiced up your
Hmm.
meal, your drink, whatever. Blend, infuse, or garnish.
Hmm. Very interesting.
BIG. Somebody write it in the chat for me. So yeah, big.
so
Blend,
let's
infuse, or garnish.
so let's talk about blending.
Blending. I'm like on a smoothie thing right now. So I've
No.
done this thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to say other.
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead. That's fine.
oh, okay. So I'm a really I'm working, not working with. I'm learning from and healing with someone named Dr. Brooke Goldner.
Okay.
Goodbye Lupus. She's got amazing books. She's got an amazing program. It's pricey a lot, but she just gives. She gives from her heart, and she's got a lot of info out there on YouTube and all that stuff. Dr. Brooke Goldner. I learned a smoothie technique from her,
Okay.
and this smoothie technique, you do it daily, and then you can increase, small steps. You increase, start off with your shot, and then, till you get used to it. And, by the time you could be drinking your whole blender just for yourself, get your family involved. And so that formula, that's on my Instagram, but I'll let you guys know it. And then she adds the flax seeds. Like, how can I say it? You want to make sure you have 70%, 80% greens. So
80%.
kale,
Okay.
yeah, it's your crustaceous vegetable. So your kale, your cabbage, or your spinach, stuff like that. I stick to kale when it's in season in Kuwait, and then
Okay.
other than that, I do mostly spinach. Once in a while, I'll try to do the cauliflower and that stuff. Some people are real, pros at it and very creative. So and that. Then you add, and the rest of the percentage will be, fruits that are good for you. And always, like, I add oranges or lemons so that I can get that vitamin C kick in there, and that citrus that has all those phytochemicals, calcium. And, you've got your water, so it counts towards your, water consumption too. And then, but something that, and I've had many discussions with her. I'm in her group and stuff. I'm like, you can add some berries, you can add some turmeric and ginger. And she's like, yeah, you could, but that's not her field of expertise, so she doesn't know.
Gotcha.
So yeah, a smoothie every day. A smoothie every day. Start off with a shot, and then a glitter in a glass, dun 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 dun, until your body will crave it.
Hmm.
If you stick to it for 30 days, your body will crave it, because you are getting all those micronutrients in there, and
Mm.
it's helping your cells. And then next thing that you have to do, besides the greens and the fruit, you have to add either chia seeds or flax seeds. If you have a Vitamix, it'll blend it right for you, or Bullet. Some people use a Bullet or Ninja. But even in however you're doing your smoothies, you can don't blend flax seeds or chia seeds beforehand and then store them same moment, because they lose their potency. So that's real important. And that's, the most average people say you need about 2 tablespoons a day of these kind of things for your omega-3, your omega-6, your linoleic acid. That's what's inside the black seeds and the chia seeds and flax seeds. So you can alternate it.
Right.
And what happens when you've got the right amount of plant-based omega-3, it starts helping your cells at a cellular level, that synergy, so that your cells start absorbing what it needs from the nutrients and expelling the toxins. And that's really important for us, us with lupus. And then so you add ginger. Spices and herbs are not part of the 9 or 10, I think it is, allergy common groups, right? Like when they say nuts and wheat and, the whole list, right? Spices and herbs are not on there. Like spices and herbs, most people, I would say 97% of the people can do it, but they don't like it. It's a mindset. I don't like ginger. It's too hot. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like garlic. It's a mindset. So my thing with that, what I learned, because I told you I was dealing with autistic children and special needs children, is that we kind of slowly integrated it. So you do microdosing.
Right.
So you do a pinch for a couple of days, then you add your teaspoon. When it's blended, You really don't feel it. And then you work your way up. And I promise you, you'll get to a point, you'll be like, there's not enough ginger in that. I want
Right.
I want the pain. I promise you, it'll happen. And if you get good quality stuff, it won't have that aftertaste. There's certain kinds of garlics. I'm not going to mention the countries, but you get them from one country and it tastes like you've thrown chlorine in your mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Other garlics where I grew up in California. In California, and back in the 70s, 80s, we were known. I'm having a cat bomb over here. My cat, my cat.
Cat
We
is
have
like, what are you doing?
We have 6 rescue cats. Rescue or children of the rescue cat. He's meowing.
I
That's the
love it.
problem with live, right?
Yeah, hey, it happens. It
It
happens.
happens. Yeah. Taking care of pets really helps. Like
Yeah, it does.
feels
It actually
it's
gives
make
you,
feel good.
yeah, it gives you those feel good. My dog is right here. I'm surprised you don't even hear her snoring, but
Aw, how cute.
she's always up underneath me, so I completely understand. So
Yeah.
you said the blending with the smoothies and things of
Smoothies,
that nature.
soups,
Soup.
soups,
Hmm.
soups, soups. You've got a Vitamix. I'm a Vitamix queen. But when you're blending your soup, boil, roasting, and then however you do your homemade soups, you blend it, you add the stuff in there and blend it, and you won't even know it's there.
Wow. I would have
Yeah.
never thought of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just think, oh, I'll just sprinkle some stuff on there, but to blend
Blend
it
it,
all up, yeah.
blend it, blend it. And another way to blend is salad dressings.
Mm.
Salad dressings is a very good way to mix it up in there. So that's the blending. So infuse. You've got your water, your tea, your coffee, your yogurt bowls. You're folding that in there. You're mixing with it. You're infusing it. Your water. You've got your water bottle. All of us are on this thing now. We've got to have our cool water bottle and to infuse it.
Right.
Cucumber slices, mint leaves, some ginger slices, some turmeric slices. Infuse it. Your teas. You have a green tea, popular green tea with mint. That's a given. Add a dash of turmeric in there, or fresh slices of something. Your yogurt bowls. You just need to fold the ingredients in there. If you're using the dry form, my yogurt. Because I don't sell my spices international, but inside, my community, I have this orange ginger blend. It's one of my spice blends. So it's basically ground oranges that have been dehydrated and ginger, same thing. And I've turned it into this and mixed with some turmeric, and I've turned it into this fabulous spice blend that, everybody use, and it tastes so good with yogurt. So, play with your yogurt bowls, play with your smoothies, play with your soups, explore spices.
I think that's the most important thing. Explore the spices. Don't be
Yes.
afraid to
No. And then
try.
microdose,
Right.
and everything in moderation. You don't go on this turmeric craze or chili pepper cayenne. Oh, I'm going to higher my metabolism. And then you're slapping all this oil on you and burning your skin. I've seen all
Right.
kinds of stuff out there.
Right.
And so the next thing of my big steps is garnish.
Okay.
Now, people have forgotten that. Do you remember? I mean, most restaurants don't do it anymore because it's fast food now. But when you ate at restaurants before, they used to put a little
Yeah.
sprig of a parsley, and
Parsley, yeah.
you'll chew on that. When you go to Indian restaurants, they'll give you a cardamom and some fennel seeds and chew on that. There's
Right.
a reason behind it. They've been doing it for thousands of years.
Mm. Mm.
It's the reason behind it. It's to start the process for easy digestion of heavy foods,
Mm.
to clean the mouth of bacteria that you've gotten from eating those foods, and then you're ingesting that. So it's been there. It's been there for thousands of years. We just forgot. We
Right.
forgot how to garnish food, and garnishing food is so important.
Not only does it look good, but it also tastes good and it's good
Yeah,
for you. Yeah.
presentation is everything.
Absolutely.
You eat with your eyes too, not just your mouth. So yeah, garnish your food.
Right.
Salsas. Another way to blend, I forgot to add, is
Mm.
salsa and chips. Add extra cilantro. Add a piece of turmeric in there, thumbnail size piece of turmeric in there. Add your coriander leaves or cilantro, where I'm from. When you make homemade salsa, don't buy the jar salsa. Don't buy jar stuff. Make it at home.
Yeah, make it
Bold,
yourself. Why not? Yes.
and make small portions. And a lot of the stuff that we've mentioned, yes, they do have a shelf life on them because they're fresh. But if you can measure right and you know what your needs are as a family or as an individual, that
Right.
stuff can be in airtight containers and kept in the fridge for a few days.
Right.
Salsa
Right.
will last. And when salsa starts to go bad, it's actually fermenting, which is actually even better for you because then it starts entering the preserved and fermented arena of foods, which is good for probiotics. So it might
Right.
taste a little bit off, but it's not necessarily bad for you if you've stored it properly.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then you can just blend that even more and let it ferment and turn it into hot sauce.
Look at
So
that.
from salsa to hot sauce.
Hot sauce. I mean, you just taking it from one end to the other.
Yeah. And then like if you've got leftover soup, and I don't believe in wasting food. I've traveled over more than maybe 20 countries I'm at,
Hmm.
right? Up around. I've seen it. I've seen it in my own country growing up. I've seen it when I've come to this region of the world. I just don't believe in wasting food. It's like I am the queen of taking leftovers and making it something.
Right.
Queen of it. No waste, just great taste. I am the queen of it. I'm not ashamed of it at all.
Oh, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
Um,
That's an
you
awesome
know,
talent.
make it taste good. And how do I make it taste good and gourmet again? Spices
Spices.
and herbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. That's
yeah.
a that's awesome. So you're saying if someone does your big program for 30 days, they will definitely feel a difference. Of course.
Definitely. Of course. You're getting all those phytonutrients, macronutrients, you're getting trace minerals, you're getting vitamins. Your cells are going to thank you. They're going to start hydrating again. They're going to start
Mm,
feeling better. They're going to start expelling toxins, and it,
right.
it happens. So one of the things that for us, lupus or anybody on a healing journey for their body, are within 365 days, within 1 year, everything in our body, our major organ, the biggest organ is our skin, right? Everything in our body regenerates itself. Just like
Mm,
when you learned in biology, the skin takes its, the snake, the skin comes off and it
right.
sheds
Comes
its
off.
skin.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Same thing for us inside and outside. So,
Mm.
for example, let's say, like me, I was addicted to chips. Doritos and Cheetos were my
Ah,
thing.
yes.
Addicted. I was addicted, even to cereals, right? It's the American breakfast,
Right.
cereals. When you change and quit something for about 2 weeks, it takes about 15 days for your
Palette.
tongue,
Mm,
because the cells change. You get new skin, you get new tongue cells, right? And then so things taste a little bit more hotter, saltier. Same thing for smokers, same things for people that eat a lot of spicy food and then they give it up for upset stomach or whatever, and then they go back to it. It's you got all new things. So you go back to eat those chips and they taste like cardboard with a lot of
right.
salt,
Right.
you know,
Right.
or your
It's so
cereals.
funny that you use that because literally I'm so with you on the chips. I'm like a chips fanatic. But now since I've been changing my eating habits, it just doesn't taste the same
No,
anymore.
and your body will tell you this is
Right.
junk. I don't want it. I don't want it. I want something more. The way that we've been designed, whatever you want to call it, the universe, creator, God, the way we've been designed is our body recognizes what to do with all those millions of little nutrients and vitamins and all those classifications that they put the big fancy words. Our body knows how to digest it properly and put it where it needs to go to grow your bones, to keep your skin healthy, make your eyesight good, make your liver functional, not too much insulin, not enough bile, all that. It's in there. Spices and herbs is one way to get it. Eating plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, being more plant based. I call myself a flexitarian. There's certain things I just absolutely don't like, and there's certain things I just can't let go of. So key moderation, and it's a journey for me. I'm better than I was yesterday. It's a culture of progress,
Right.
and I think
Right.
that's the key.
And
And
and and like you said, everything in moderation. Everything
yeah,
in moderation. You don't
everything in moderation.
and as you're microdosing like you stated, it will start to change your palate.
Yes, absolutely. You will want those flavors, those natural flavors. You will not want the little stock cubes. You will not want that processed salt. And that's another thing. I'll just say it now and cross it off my list that I had at the end of life-changing implementations. Change your salt. Change your salt. Change your salt. Change it. Get a natural salt. No processed crap. I personally use pink Himalayan salt because it has trace minerals. It has over 80 trace minerals in it, and the salt industry. And I don't want to get into that here, but it's all economics, right? Oh,
Mm,
you need iodine, and we do need the iodine. But if you eat right, you will get the iodine that you need.
right. You
You
don't need
don't
to get
have
it
to
from
have
the.
fortified salt. That's over processed. So like the biggest example I give my clients or my followers, banana muffin that's fat free, gluten free, dairy free, blah 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 blah. And then you look at the ingredients, and there's 500 things that you don't even know how to pronounce. But even though that's your language, you're like, what is that?
Right.
Numbers and stuff, or just good quality flour,
Mm,
eggs or not eggs, and a supplement, maybe some kind of substitute, and a banana smashed, and however you make a muffin,
right.
simple natural raw ingredients, is so much more healthier for you than that mass produced over processed item.
Mm,
Your body doesn't recognize those chemicals. We were not designed by
mm,
God, creator of the universe, to recognize those chemicals. Our body was designed to recognize vitamin A, calcium, magnesium, fibers, this stuff, all those funky chemicals. Our body wasn't designed. So what does it do with that stuff? It sends it to storage and says, okay, we'll wait, boss, for until the command comes what to do with it,
right.
how to
Right.
extract the nutrient from it. And that's what happens. And that's where obesity comes from a lot of the times.
Interesting. Interesting. Someone says smoked Himalayan salt is amazing. I've never,
Yeah.
never had it, so.
Yeah, and it's cheap enough. You've got sea salt, you've
Hmm.
got Himalayan salt, you've got out on the west coast we've got lava salt,
Mm,
you've
okay.
got French gray salt. There's so many. For me, I like subtle. I don't like too much salty, and I have high blood pressure. And people are like, "Oh, I diagnosed high blood pressure. Cut all salt off." No, salt make you retain water if you overdo it, right? That's what they
Right.
say, right? But you want
Right.
to retain water or you're going to be constantly dehydrated. You want
Mm,
to retain water.
interesting.
You want to
Interesting.
keep yourself lubricated, just like a car engine. We need to keep ourselves lubricated. If you do it too much, then you'll be bloated. If you have the right balance, you'll be okay. And if it's a natural salt that was created for us here on this earth in abundance to use, and hopefully it's extracted in a proper way and not over processed,
Right.
it's good for you. It helps with your electrolytes so you
Mm,
don't become dehydrated. It helps start the synergy for other processes to happen to either extract or fill in nutrients where it's needed for the liver, for the kidney, what have you. So we do
very good.
need some.
Very, very good information because a lot of people just think that okay, I have high blood pressure or I have some issues. I'm just going to cut out all the salt. But you're
No,
saying
you don't
sometimes
need to.
you need that natural salt
Yeah, it's
to hydrate
okay.
your body. Yeah.
It's those products, those processed products that have those
Mm,
things that those flavor enhancers, those chemicals, those MSG type thing. Those are not good for you. That'll make it worse. That'll make your high blood pressure.
gotcha. But if you're doing natural, that's something totally different. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once your
Makes
palate
sense.
changes, you're not going to need all that salt because this is going to be okay. This is going to be healthy. You're going to say, okay, I don't need all that salt. If you're doing something that affects the health of your tongue and your palate, if you're a smoker or you eat too much of something, then everything else tastes weird or off to you.
Gotcha.
But when you're all balanced out, you enjoy the way that it was meant to be, the way that it was created, and enjoy the full flavor of oregano and
Right.
dash of black pepper. And just, oh, I love spices.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
Right.
that's the blend, infuse, and garnish. That's
Awesome.
the most simplest way. Try it for 30 days and everything, your tea, your infuse, your water, your coffee, any spice you have. Don't run out and rush and buy stuff. Make inventory of your spice cabinet.
Mm. Make
Check the
inventory of your
ingredients.
spice cabinet.
Yeah, make inventory of your spice cabinet. Check the ingredients. If it's got funky stuff on there, if it's got sugar and flour and anti-caking and all that stuff, toss
Hmm.
it. I don't care how good it tastes, how it's everything bagel for you. No, unless it's from a company you trust.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha.
None
I
of
mean,
those
this
MSG stuff.
right, all that stuff that's just not good for
No,
you anyway.
no. And you can make your own spice blends at home. And I will be doing throughout the year a lot of workshops on that. And you can keep it, like our family eats a lot of fajita. That's how I created my fajita blend, because we were eating fajitas and I was a working mom of 4 and a full-time student. So I was
Hmm.
just like, I don't have time to do the oregano and this and that. And we like ours a little bit more spice. I just put it all in one thing, mix it a lot, put it in a bottle. And that was my Mexican flavor.
Right, right, right.
So based on what you want, you can customize and have fun with the spices and explore spices. You can make a blend just for your yogurts, for your cereals, for your salad dressings, as
And
long
for
as
the
you
express salsa that I'm going to be making.
Hmm, exactly.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
This has been such great information. Such
I'm
great
glad. I'm
you've taught
glad.
me such good information, and I'm excited to be in touch with you. I'm so excited to be in touch with you. Does anyone have any questions for the Spice
Yeah.
Miss
Any
Patty?
questions?
I
And I
don't,
will have you can, can go to I'll have to channel you guys to my Instagram where that you can hit my link tree and then that PDF will be there. And I'm always putting stuff up there. After the holidays are done. Right now there's a PDF that talks about spices and I have to
and you're
check
gonna
with
you're gonna you're gonna give that you're gonna let us see that,
I
correct?
will send it to you and then you can do it with your crew.
Um,
Oh, my list of spices real quick. Oh, I
yep.
forgot.
I'm glad that she's here. There are a few herbs you should always keep on hand that would help
Yes.
with
This
many
is called
ailments.
my staples.
Okay,
And write it down and then I'll send you the paper. It's a PDF and then you can send it to your people.
awesome.
There's 5 categories. The first category, the leaves, not
Okay,
the greens, the leaves.
okay,
Parsley, cilantro or coriander, dill and mint. Fresh and or dry.
hmm, interesting. All right, I'm typing that
Next,
in the
okay.
thing. Fresh or dry, you said, right?
Fresh or dry, preferably both.
Okay.
The seeds. This is because we want our omega-3s, we want our boron mineral, we want our copper, potassium, protein, all that jazz, right? Black seeds, otherwise known as nigella seeds or black cumin or kalonji.
Hmm. Okay.
All available on Amazon, by the way. Don't stress out. Flax seeds, flax seeds, which is now a craze.
Yeah, I see.
Blend it in your smoothie every day. Blend
Hmm.
it in. And chia seeds. I'm coming undone. Okay.
It's so funny
Okay.
because my husband just came in, and I know he does the flax seeds and chia seeds, and he's always like, "Yeah, get it." He just puts it all over. He doesn't even care.
There's so many stuff. There's so much stuff you can do with it. The air. What did I stop at? Seeds. The third
Seeds,
one, the roots. The roots.
roots.
Ginger, turmeric, and ashwagandha.
Yeah. Now let me ask you about ashwagandha though.
Okay.
With lupus patients.
They've said that you're not supposed to. Earlier research has said, and it's
Okay.
written on like lupus.org and certain, and then the UK, the one for the lupus official website. That is not the latest research.
Mm,
And someone who has a very compromised immune system, like high level flare up going on, really sensitive and a compromised immune system, like you're literally laying in your bed, I would not recommend ashwagandha.
gotcha.
But someone who's not bedridden, someone who's making their day and able to function, can microdose and reap the benefits of ashwagandha.
Okay.
You literally only need. I mean, I also put that in my smoothie. I'll be on my live and grinding it, and I literally put half a teaspoon in my smoothie.
Awesome.
It's a
Okay.
really good thing.
Okay. So
So
you
those
said
are the
root.
roots.
Yep.
The aromatics.
Gotcha.
black pepper, cloves. Cloves is wonderful for pain management and lupus.
Mm.
Very good. Cinnamon, cardamom, cumin, and coriander. Hi. Hi,
See,
doggy.
I told you the dog was going to start barking. What was the last one?
Coriander, the seeds, the coriander seeds. They're very aromatic. Okay. And the last category, I call it the bitter and sour.
Okay.
Sounds like a soap opera from like the 1980s.
Bitter and
The
sour,
bitter
right?
and the sour.
I love it. I love
Right?
that.
Just okay.
You should make
Like like soap opera. I'm trying to think of those Tim Salias that we have, those
right.
series, those drama series. So this one is called Amla. I actually did a nice little setup for everybody here.
I see.
Yes. This is Indian gooseberry Amla.
Spell that for me.
AMLA, or Indian gooseberry, the English name. Okay. It has a seed in it, so you can't just throw that in your blender. Don't break your blender. You've got to, cut the seed out. It's very sour. You don't eat it like that. A lot of cultures, it's pretty much like a subcontinent Indo-Pak a staple. You can add it in curries and stews. A lot of people, they preserve it in honey and they use that. It's used for a lot of remedies for Ayurveda. I just cut the seed out like you do an apple. I decor it and I throw it in there with my. It's very sour, and you need sour. Sour is good for you. Sour gets your liver working right and balances out your bile function. Right. Gotcha. So you can buy this on Amazon, not necessarily the fresh, but the powder from a good company, and will do the job. It'll do the job. And I use it in my hair. I mean, it's beautiful. Gotcha. Okay. Another one is called, here in this region, it's called Zareshk, but I will give you the English name, barberry. Barberry, BAR and then berry. That's very sour. And if, it's like on cuisines, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, Iranian cuisines, it's a little red dried berries, kind of like our version in America. We do dried cranberries around the holidays to fancy stuff up. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So like if you don't have that, then dried cranberries. And sumac, SUMAC. Sumac is beautiful in salad dressings. Really nice in salad dressings and marinating your chicken or your fish. It's so sour. It's a tangy flour. All available on Amazon or any ethnic stores that might be around you. Go to any of those, ethnic stores, and you'll be sure to find it. Now the bitter radish. Add it to your salads. Add it to your stews. You roast it. Just develop a palate for it. Radishes are very good for you. For your teas, you can do chamomile. And then we have the long lost cousin of thyme, majorium or oregano, zatar. So usually zatar is a Middle Eastern mix, and like we mix it with oil and then we put it on breads. You can marinate chicken with it. I have a bunch of stuff on my Instagram with it, but it's usually like a combination. It's a particular thyme or oregano, depending on, where it's as, because it's called like the Lebanese oregano, for example, or it's a type of like majoram. But this is really, really good. This bitter stuff is really good. You can boil it. You can just eat it, with the mix with sesame seeds and. Yeah, there's a wealth of information on Google about Zatar. It is really healthy for you.
Okay. Someone says they take ashwagandha with from Goli gummies. Is that bad or is it?
It's a big trend going on here. It's reached us in our region here. It's very expensive, and I haven't myself tried it. But if that's a way that you can do it. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not into supplements. I'm into implementing and integrating it daily in my life throughout the day. But I know it's a good company. Another thing, and I talked about the regeneration of the body. Make sure you have a food journal.
Yeah.
keeping track of your symptoms, keeping track of what you're taking and what time of the day, what your mood was. Did you have a stressful day or did you have a great day? You know, somebody pissed you off at work, you know, keep a track. You'll see a pattern in your symptoms and the timing and foods that you eat. You will see the patterns. And this is also a way for you to keep track once you've started implementing spices and herbs on a regular basis and the amounts, then you will see what are the differences. How did it affect me and my body and my moods or my symptoms, my flare-ups, my pains. And then another one besides regular, movement, do what you can. Not all of us, none of us are at the same level. Make sure that you're doing drainage for your lymphatic system. Indulge in a massage. Indulge self-care, right? So important mentally and physically. Make sure you're draining your lymphatic system. When you start doing these spices and herbs, it's going to promote drainage because it's getting the toxins out. And if your lymphatic system is blocked, they're not going to do anything. It's not going to help you. So you've got to, and also a lot of these spices, and that's a whole nother topic we can do next month or something, for parasites and bacteria and fungi and all that stuff. That's a whole nother topic. A lot of these spices aid in that, and that's how they were originally used medicinally. Awesome. To kill off the parasites and stuff. And then so you're killing off all that, you got drainage, they got to leave your body. Right. The kill off, right? Right. I hope you found that useful and beneficial.
Very useful. Very useful, very beneficial. Oh, my husband wants me to ask you about hemp.
Well, we're in a region where it's not promoted or allowed, but there are so many studies, and I've done a lot of research on it. I totally believe in it. I've actually stuck in a couple of bottles through ordering online, and I won't say the company, but now they've opened up. Someone told me, I think it was like a week ago, somebody told me at one of our health nutrition supplement stores that we have here, they actually have hemp supplements. So I was like, okay, finally people are realizing, because there's no, it's the good part of that plant, right? I don't want to get banned on Instagram and quit. So it's a good part of that. It's very beneficial. It is an herb that was created, and it has its benefits. By the way, for information for you, nutmeg is outlawed here, and poppy seeds.
Really?
Because of and certain mushrooms, because
yeah,
what they can be used for. Wars have been started in certain countries over these items. So
wow.
Yeah,
I want to thank you. I want to thank
you for inviting me.
You have a wealth of information, and I'm so excited to be able to tap into that, help other people understand spices and herbs. I want to be respectful of your time. And I know we've been on for an hour, and I know it's probably around 9 o'clock there.
Yeah,
it's time for you to wind down. So I want to thank you so much, Patty, for coming on and talking to us, giving us this great information. I'm yelling at my husband and my son. Sorry,
my family's waiting for me too.
So I want to thank you so much, Patty. Thank you for everybody for tuning in and asking your questions.
Yes, thank you.
We're definitely going to do this again. Maybe we'll do a live together where we can make some smoothies or something like that. That would be awesome.
Definitely. And anybody, if you could put my Instagram account.
Yep. What's your Instagram account?
The Instagram account is spice.coach. Or they could just look up my name, Patty Moreau.
Do you have a website, Patty?
I have two websites. The one is for Kuwait because my spices don't go out of the country. The other one, we're in the middle of doing it. It'll be spicecoach.org.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my Instagram. That's where I do most of my work. Tons and tons of information put together nicely, visuals. I cook daily, pretty much daily. I'm cooking daily, and I do my smoothies. The recipe for the smoothies there. Try that for 30 days. Dose up. You feel difference in your skin, your moods, your sleeping, everything, your metabolism, everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate
look forward to doing another live with you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Good night.
Let Patty go now. Thank you. We are so excited that Patty was here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will have this, of course, it will be on YouTube and Facebook, and then I'll put the actual video from both of us on Instagram. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I so appreciate you all. I hope that you learned something today. And as with anything, just make sure that you're checking with your doctor and make sure that you're holding that food journal. We always talk about the food journal and make sure that you're understanding exactly what you're putting in your body. So have a great day and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you everybody on Instagram. I appreciate you.